and he is carrying a bit of weight in his car at the moment. Ooh, almost a bit of contact there between Greeny and Anthony. Lights are up, engines are revving, and away we go. So look at that, the NSX is on the right hand side looking to make a move here, but the GTR's getting the run down on the way into T1. Looks like Greeny getting forced slightly wide here. Andrew Shaw making a move here for the top spot early on. The green Takata going on the left hand side here as they're 3 wide at the front here. 2 GTRs and an NSX. Noel getting off to an early P1 here, but Shaw is in the mix. He's definitely here, not giving up. He's got into P2, Matt's in P3, and Greeny is in P4, followed closely behind by David. I think the NSX is actually quite a good start here. So Matt's is in P3, but is followed closely behind by Greeny, Mol and Ein. Magsy in P7, just overtaking Dylan to make it up to P7. The group very, very tightly packed here. Magsy dropping back down to P8 here. David moving up to P4, having overtaken Greeny. Ron Ein overtakes Greeny on the inside on the way down to T1, allowing him to get back up to P5. Greeny is chasing along here, as you can see Ein trying to get past David Mol. Manages to make the move work in the hairpin there, so great little move from Ein there, gets up to P4, and is going to be on the hunt now for Matt's in P3. Greeny and Akshit going side by side into T1. Greeny backing out a little bit, and David going a little bit wide on the exit, allowing Green to get past. And this is where the GTRs really come into their own, because they've got really good acceleration and top speed advantage over the NSX, which allows them to catch up on that straight a very great deal. And you can see he's now literally right on the bumper of Andrew Shaw as they start another lap here, going through T1. And as they come through onto the start-finish line here, you'll see from Paul's point of view, tucking his GTR into the slipstream here, you can see him catching up with David here on the run down to T1. So getting the car slowed down and tucked in, and the rearview mirror you can see the Epson NSX getting awfully close. And I'm thinking we're going to see either a overtake on Paul by Anthony. You can see Anthony looking to nose the inside of the car down on the inside here on the way to the hairpin. Will he be able to tuck it in? Yes, he will. Gets through on the inside, but will we see a switchback from Paul? So Akshik has 0 ballast, Greeny has 12 kilos of ballast, and Anthony here in the Epson has got 18 kilos. So Anthony's definitely the heaviest out of this group, bar the yellow hat GTR driven by Paul. But at the moment it looks like Anthony is going to be closing a little bit closer behind Akashik. Will he make the move again? Yes, he... Oh no, not quite. Greeny looking to try and deny a little bit of slipstream there, throwing himself out onto the left hand side of the track to get ready to go into T1. Actually going slightly wide. Anthony's going to be looking to take advantage of any mistake, big or small, from any of the drivers in front to try and close the gap here. There'll be some big defending going on here from Andrew. Let's go on board with Matt. Let's see if he can get the NSX on the straight here. You can see just how much of a toe you can get off of the straight here, but not quite getting into position for T1. Akashik side by side with Anthony here as they go wheel to wheel through the midsection of Sector 2. David now trying to get the car positioned to try and make a bit of a move here on the way up to the hairpin. On the way down to the hairpin, Akshik throws it on the inside, but the Epson comes out on form. Anthony and David are still battling very, very aggressively as they come onto the start-finish line here. Looks like Anthony's switched on the inside here, and they're going side by side down the start-finish line here as the yellow hat GTR driven by Paul in the background is looking to try and find a way through. But Greeny now, having not had to battle with anyone, is comfortably growing a bit of a gap here in the P5 position. Look at that, Anthony takes advantage of a slight mistake from Akashik on the way through T1. Says thank you very much, slips down the inside, and off you go. As Matt and Ein look to try and battle their way through. And Andrew, slight mistake from Andrew there. That's going to mean Matt gets a little bit closer now. And Andrew will be feeling the pressure, I'm sure. Because he knows that any slight mistake that he makes will be met with a swift manoeuvre from one of the GTRs behind. Now coming onto the start-finish line here, you can see these guys forming a little bit of a train here. Looks like Matt is going on the outside. Oh my god, that is not what you want to see. As the Yellow Hat GTR with Paul is in the mix here as well. So there's too much action happening in two parts of the track, which is making it very difficult for me. In the background you can see Paul sliding a little bit in the GTR there as he deals with possibly a slightly heavier GTR than he's used to. Anthony trying to make the move on the NSX driven by Greeny, but Greeny defending wisely there and stopping Anthony from trying to get past. But I think he's definitely going to be wearing Greeny down here. Anthony's very aggressive, pushing hard all the way, and that's going to be putting the pressure on to Greeny, who will be feeling that in the cockpit. Shaw has just been overtaken by Ein as they go through T1, although Shaw isn't giving up just yet. He tucks in behind. But Greeny is doing a great job here of holding on to P5. He, in the pre-seasons, would generally qualify about P8 and then finish the race in P4. So you can see Greeny there trying to throw Anthony off, but Anthony reacting with fighter jet levels of reflexes and not giving up an inch of performance there. Here we go. Now we've got some real good action developing here on the start-finish line as Anthony is side by side with Greeny. Has the right-hand side of the track, which is the best place to be for T1. Greeny, on the other hand, though, doesn't seem to be... So the camera angle there is a bit of a trick of the eye there, so Greeny was slightly further ahead. But you can see what Greeny's doing. He's going defensive and then flicks it out to the left-hand side at the last second to try and get the entry into the corner that he needs to keep the momentum going. But Anthony is right here in the mix. Let's go on board with Anthony and just see how things are right here in the action between these two NSXs. And in the background you can see the ever-present Paul Maguire in the Yellow Hat GTR filling up the rearview mirror and making Anthony very uncomfortable, I'm sure. God, these two are really giving us a show here as they try and battle their way through. Anthony going slightly off corner, or cutting the corner there onto the start-finish line there, but we'll overlook that one. GTR in the background, not jumping in to the action here on the stream, but manages to nose it down on the inside on the way down to T1 and manages to deny Anthony his opportunity to get past Greeny. So Paul's done a great move there. But these guys are... oh, slight slip from Anthony there. So Greeny has now got the Yellow Hat GTR to deal with. Paul in the Yellow Hat has been sitting in the background for a long time now, but he's come through that final corner there with a great opportunity here to overtake Greeny. He will have a very good speed advantage here, and he's got the toe. I think he's close enough behind here that he's going to be able to do it. Yes, he does. He moves down onto the inside. And we're going to see if Ein can sneak his way up onto P2. So just a reminder that Ein is running with 33 kilos of ballast and Mats has only got 15. So even though Mats is the lighter car here and they're driving exactly the same car in the same livery, Ein is definitely bringing the pace. And I don't think Mats is going to be able to relax until the checkered flag has come down and he's brought it home to P2. Let's see Mats here in P2 defending on the way down. He's parked himself right on the right side of the track here as he tries to secure himself into P2. But you can see Ein getting a nice little toe. Going slightly wide. Oh no, that's bad news for Ein Bandit. But they coming over the start-finish line now. Mats has finished in P2. He'll be very pleased with that. Ein finishing in P3. Andrew Shaw did very well to finish in P4. And the yellow hat GTR by Paul Maguire comes in P7. Andrew McCormack, Paul McCormack finishes in P8. And David Moll looks to be finishing in P9 with the Lexus gang led by Dylan, or Binding, finishing in P10. Admiral Snackbar, our new joiner, finishes in P11. So they actually said that they might be driving somewhere near the back. Adrian, the other Lexus guy, is finished in P12, and Nasru in P13 in the Epson. So he was the rear marker. And in the background you can see Red, I believe, finishing in, what would that be, P14 or 15?